I've lost two people by suicide that I was very close to. The first one was my ex-husband, Armando. We were divorced, but we remained very close. We had been married 12 years, and we had been divorced about, I believe, a year and a half when he suicided. Then, a few years later, my brother-in-law suicided. The word suicide was not mentioned. It was died suddenly. He died of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. But the word suicide was missing. I think it's important to use the word because it's the last stigma. So I think that this is the last dirty little secret. So I think that mental illness and mental health and the word suicide should all be talked about openly and honestly.
I'd lost my best friend who was like a brother to me. And I went for about a year thinking I was doing okay. And then the news that Robin Williams had died by suicide had come out, and I was at a bar, and some guy just shouted it out like it was the punchline to a joke, and I wanted to jump on top of him and start wailing on him. And I'm not a violent person, I don't fight. But boy, I wanted to hop on him and start swinging. That's when I realized I needed to do something. And I talked to a drummer that I had worked with, and he answered phones for the group, anyone who was thinking about suicide. And so he told me about SOSL, and he thought it might help me out a little. Because I had tried doing one-on-one, and it just wasn't working.
It's great to have close friends, but no one understands what that individual is feeling. And I'll be honest with you, even some of your very closest friends, they get tired of hearing about it because they have their own lives. They have their own ups and downs.
When my brother passed away, a lot of my family on both sides didn't want to acknowledge like how he died, and so it was super difficult to talk to them or to communicate with them like just what I was going through. And so basically when I came here and I saw like Myra is like a perfect example, but just people who have been here for about, I think, 5 years, so many years, and still coming, it made me feel like there must be something that is here for me. I just have to like kind of continue to come to see it. And I definitely feel like that for me personally, it just saved my life, because I don't think I would have been able to deal with it if I feel like I was alone in it.
No one wants to feel like they're the only one who's feeling something, especially when it's as messed up as that. I don't think the human brain was meant to be able to make sense out of a situation like this. And when you get with other people who are dealing with that same push and pull in their own heads, you realize it's normal to be reacting that way to something so messed up.
When you have such a horrific death happen, and not to minimize any other deaths, but this is a special type of grief. When you have that happen to you, you need someone. You need people who understand you. I would encourage anyone who has had that type of loss to at least give it a try. It's the only way you can learn to live again.
These people get it. These people get it. They know that that doesn't go away. It never goes away. You learn how to deal with it a little better, but it never goes away. Matthew not being here, it isn't right. And I can talk about that with these people and not have anyone not get it. Every single person sitting around that table gets it. That means a lot. That camaraderie. Because this group helped me. I don't know if I'd still be here if it wasn't for this group.
When you see people come in that are new, like you can see how hurt they are, and you remember your pain and you remember how you felt, and then you kind of go back and recollect how far you've came, and which is a huge deal to see how far you came in this type of journey.
Because I think that we need to teach people that grief comes and swells like the ocean. Sometimes you look and it's peaceful and you feel like I've gotten to the other side of grief. And then sometimes you look out and that beautiful blue ocean now is turned into a tsunami and the waves are pounding and you become afraid. You become panicked. And I think that that's how people need to view loss, whether it's loss by suicide or loss by anything else. But suicide is so it's like the blink of the eye. They can leave in the morning, everything is fine, and then you get the call. I think the survivors of suicide can share, it's almost like a book club. You read the same book, but you have different views about it. You sit around and you can speak if you want, or you can just listen. But I think you have this shared experience, and it makes you have this common group that you don't want anybody else to have to join, but we're here.